Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is really going to be focused on this recent bull run that it seems like we're in. It may be a little one, it may be something more than that. It's still kind of up in the air, but overall, the Jasmy chart is doing really well. We're going to be looking at the chart, we're going to be looking at some of the TA, the technical analysis. I'm going to be looking at a few other charts as well to kind of show you how Jasmy compares to those and where I think it might be headed from here. So I think we still have a significant amount of upside coming on this one. I'm really looking forward to that. We'll also be taking a look through the feed as we always do. Got some news on Witz, got some news on a couple other fronts I really wanted to cover in today's video. And then we'll wrap everything up with some final thoughts. Stick around for that. So if this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to definitely hit the like button. And lastly, if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, and it looks like we're live. Coming back at you with a weekend edition of the Jasmy Weekly Update. Kicking off right here with Spaceman. What better way to kick off a bullish week in the charts with Spaceman? I'm not sure who originally created this, if it was Jasmy US or someone else. Either way, super cool image, reaching for the stars, right? Moving on up, here's a picture of the chart for this past week. So I posted here, looking strong, a lot of green bars, and the volume just getting in the pennies again. Just imagine when it gets into dollars, right? So here was our picture of the chart. As you can see here, pretty much starting in 2023, we have had a lot of big green volume bars. Very bullish chart overall. Now, in terms of some of the broader market, there are some coins out there that have been pumping really strong, kind of have the God candle, right? I saw that with Veracity. I saw it with Telcoin. A couple others are going on out there. And so, I know when you see that going on, you want to get, your phone was kicking in, right? And you're thinking, God, wish that would happen with Jasmy. I do too. But just give it time. It'll happen, all right? So moving on up from there, I had this post by Manila Will, Jasmy trending on Twitter, business and finance, along with bull run in cryptocurrency. Thought that was pretty bullish. Like that. Also, we had MLK Day. So here was a post from MLK. I thought this was kind of relevant. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy, right? You could definitely apply that to the crypto market. And you could probably ask yourself, where do you stand, right? Moving on up. We had a post here from Houston, right? So the relationship between Kunitake Ando and Kunimasa Suzuki, Intel Japan, dates back to their days at Sony. Intel Japan has also shown interest in platinum data offered by Jasmy since 2018. So there was a post that I know I covered it in a video probably, a couple months back, where I actually had a screenshot of him talking about platinum data very early on with Jasmy. And so this post here by Houston had some great imagery in it. So enhancing and polishing curiosity as a starting point for education and growth. The future of Japan is seen by Intel President Suzuki, right? So he highlighted some other stuff in here. Democratization of data will progress, and Intel needs to be involved in this as well, right? So you can see here where they're definitely on the forefront of this relationship here with Jasmy. There may be challenges such as responding to regulations such as the data free flow of trust and the general data protection regulation and creating new rules, right? And this looks like a little translation error. Not. Anyway, moving on from that. Here is him back at Sony, right? President and CEO of Sony Mobile Communications, 16th of May, 2012. So there is that Sony connection yet again. Thought that was awesome. Now, here's a post that came out from Witz Corporation. So if you don't know who Witz is, they're one of Jasmy's partners that does the entry-exit system for the Hokkaido ballpark. There's a new major ballpark that's opening in Japan this year. Roughly, I think that's opening, I want to say in March. I took a quote. Basically, I just translated this, and it says information about our 2 branch offices. Nagano office preparation, office preparation office. Name change to Nagano branch office. So the first thing that's relevant there is Nagano, right? That's where Ando is the president of the university. It is also where they're doing the IT Valley, and Witz is there as well. Okay, so that's kind of the connection I was highlighting there. The second part here: establishment of Tokyo branch, relocation of Future Society Creation Joint Laboratory. Now, the point I was making with this is that is moving to Tokyo, number one, so the capital of Japan, right? And the relocation of the Future Society Creation Joint Laboratory. There was a job posting that Brian had found a couple months back with Witz and Jasmy, and that was specific to this. So the point here is that, again, this is the Jasmy Witz collaboration, and it's in Tokyo. Okay, so I thought that was absolutely awesome as well. So if you just look at this on the surface, you may not know those things, but if you kind of know some of these connections from doing your own research or watching my videos or someone else's, that's what I was referring to there. So in terms of both of those, I think it's further development with Witz. So thought that was really cool, right? Moving on up, Dr. Doug, 43,000 holders, right? I looked at this earlier, I think today, and we were at like 43,100 plus. It keeps on going up. So again, for anybody who's, maybe a little bit frustrated with some of the chart lately, that it hasn't exploded like we all want it to, Mount Jasmy keeps on building. That's the whole point, right? Going on up from there, Jasmy Management. So Lunar New Year is coming. We have a gift for our community. Grab it from BitGet Global. So grab your share of Jasmy red packets at BitGet. So as far as I know, these red packets, I think this is a Japanese thing. And I want to say that I've seen this also with KuCoin with the red packets. It's kind of like a giveaway type promotional activity, essentially. And so anyway, the point in all of this is that BitGet is basically another exchange, and here's a promotion, okay? Moving on up, deflationary mechanism. I felt the need to post this the other day. I don't know why this came to me. Something spurned this. And so Bitcoin is capped supply, lost coins. That's what makes it deflationary. For Polkadot, staked supply and parachain auctions, right? So you can have it staked in the ecosystem, or you can lock it up in a parachain auction to get additional rewards from whatever project you're supporting. I did that with Pokedex. BNB KCS, so staked, capped, and burnt supplies. So there is a burning mechanism. And then Jasmy is capped business locked supplies, so a little bit different. And then I also made a note here, the coins are also held by diamond hands, right? So market caps mean a lot more when you understand deflationary mechanisms. Maybe that's what had driven this. Is I think somebody had asked me something about the market cap of Jasmy, and how could it go up the way that we think it could? And I think what I'm kind of getting at here is that if you're simply looking at the market cap numbers on CoinMarketCap, that's not the entire story. That's not exactly accurate. And when you think about them moving up, well, it makes it look like it's because of all the coins in circulation and it's got this high market cap, right? But the reality is with numerous projects, the coins in circulation are nowhere what they appear to be. And as those coins get sucked out of the market, that's where things can go on a meteoric rise, which is exactly what happened to Cardano in this past cycle, right? Moving on up from there. So if you want to know how early we are, the Japanese government is still using floppy disks and dot matrix printers. The future is blockchain, decentralized secure storage, and edge AI, IoT. Jasmy changes this. And this was a thread posted by Level 8, who has been pretty active lately. He is over there in Japan, and it was showing the floppy disks that they are apparently still using over there. If we translate it here, it says, in 2022, the news that 46.3 million yen in taxes was mistakenly transferred to a certain man is still fresh in our memory, right? So we see things like this all the time. It's basically a data/security breach or just simply an error. For those of you who are overseas, local government offices in Japan still use floppy disks. Not far from digital reform, right? So here's a picture of a couple Sony floppy disks. So pretty funny. Moving on up from there, Zippy Crypto, he posted up here. I found this absolutely hilarious, so I kind of wanted to shout this out. One Welshman and 5 Yanks talk. That about sums it up. So Zippy is over in Wales. The rest of us are primarily in the U.S. There's a couple other speakers that sometimes come on that are in the UK as well and elsewhere around the world. But thought that was really funny. So if you got any questions for Zippy for our weekly Jasmy Spaces call, route them over to him at Lebo UK, right? We had a post moving on from there, Jasmy US. The internet is in a transition from Web 2 to Web 3 with the mass adoption of blockchain technology. As time goes on, massive data leaks continue to be a major threat to personal and national security. Sovereignty over your own data will revolutionize day-to-day life. I agree. Thought that was a really awesome image that I don't know if he created that or if he found that. Either way, really cool. Moving on up. So this was earlier today where I said, seeing some complaints about the Jasmy chart versus the market. Really? It's nearly doubled from the bottom. What's not to like? So here was the image I posted just a little bit earlier today. You can see it's still moving up on this diagonally upward trend line. So thought that was something to highlight there. Here's something else I kind of wanted to highlight since, we're always talking about the market as a whole and how it impacts Jasmy. I said, great chart on the Bitcoin cycle with the Enlightenment next from Pierre Rochard, right? So this particular chart here is the Bitcoin halving cycles. So you can see 2013, basically 14, 15, 16 in this top one. So we have hype, disillusionment, enlightenment, right? Cycle repeats itself. Again, we had hype, 2016, 2017, disillusionment down to 2019, and enlightenment up to 2020. This current cycle, we've got the hype, we've got the disillusionment, and the question is are we about to soon enter enlightenment? To be determined, right? Hopefully we are. I think that'd be a great thing. Moving on up from there, here is just a post for our weekly call. As a reminder, wherever you're at around the world, for me, it is on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard U.S. time. Wherever you may be, it changes. For the people on the call, like I said, we're from all over the U.S., different time zones, all over the world. I know we have people on the call from Japan, from the UK, from India, et cetera, et cetera. So don't miss that. If you do miss it, you can always check it out later. All right. Now, moving forward over to the chart. So I did kind of want to just kind of take a look, see what's going on in the chart here with the actual live chart. So some observations. So you can see my different trend lines I've drawn on this thing. You can see the green volume bars, right? We definitely still have some green volume. You can see this bullish cross right here that occurred on roughly, what's that, the 14th? So a week ago of the 20 and 50-day EMAs. All that's good. Where we're at right now is kind of, uncharted territory, but we are trending upward. So let me see if I can modify my chart here a little bit, zooming out a little further. Here's kind of the bigger chart. You can see the 200-day moving average cruising on down here. The sooner the three of these cross, the sooner we could have that God candle moment like other charts have had. So that's really important, okay? So for those of you that want the God candle here with Jasmy, well, we got to get across of this 200-day moving average. Once that happens, we could absolutely blast off, all right? Let me zoom out a little bit. We'll take a look also. So you can see the RSI here, the momentum is kind of dipped back down, but look, we got a little bit of a bump here. So I think we're going to keep on riding this thing up. It's very possible we could break through this next level and go above 0.006. The range there kind of goes all the way up to 0.0074. So we are still trending in the right direction. Looking at the market cipher here, here's where we had the trigger wave. It's kind of like a gun with a trigger. You can see that right there. That's usually indicative of upward movement. You can see we've kind of gone above baseline. We went all the way up here. We had a little bit of red. We got green again. So that's pretty telling. The other thing here in the market cipher is this kind of red area right here that kind of cruises. That's money outflow, right? Whenever it goes green, it's money inflow. And we're right on the verge of going green. Having gone green since all the way back in August of last year. So quite a ways here if you're looking here on money inflow, right? And, I kind of want to just show you a few other charts real quick, what I was talking about with that God candle in particular. If we go to the veracity chart, look at this chart here. I mean, it's just straight up, right? And so they're kind of on the verge of crossing with their 200-day moving average, but almost a straight up chart. And you can see this just crazy volume that happened here, massive green bars. There's probably a lot of FOMO in there, but Veracity is also a really good project, and it offers a really good staking rate. So it's kind of good on multiple fronts, and it seems like maybe people have sort of realized that again. I know it's been getting a lot of hype on CT. If we look at Telcoin, here's another one, kind of had that huge green God candle going straight up. So, right now it's 42% up. If we kind of zoom out, you can see this thing here. Huge green bar that kind of came here on Telcoin. And, everything's at the very top at the moment. So, when you're looking at the market as a whole, most of these over here are nowhere near that 40%. So it's definitely possible there could be some FOMO kind of chasing those around. I know like Fetch, here's the chart on Fetch. Fetch has been absolutely awesome lately. Another one of the AI coins. And look at this one. So here's where they actually had the golden cross right there. So that is the cross of the 200 and the 50-day going bullish. This entire chart right now on Fetch is bullish because the EMAs are all bullish all the way up. Okay. So this one's on absolute fire right now. It's been doing just great. And if you follow Fetch, they're on Binance US as well. Is numerous other platforms, and I do have some links for those if you ever want a referral bonus or whatever. But anyhow, going back to our Jasmy chart, I usually like to look at it on a couple of different sites. Here it is on MEXC. It's a little bit different depending on the site for the volume. This one here is on KuCoin. I think I followed on Coinbase as well. Yeah, here's the Coinbase chart. And overall, you can see where we bottomed right down here at 0.0027 basically. And where we're at right now is 0.00517. The funny thing too is when you see the talk about this on Twitter and wherever else, people kind of forget, like most of us, we never thought this was going to go below 0.008, to be honest. It had hit 0.008 a couple of times. We kind of thought, there's no way it ever goes below there. You can kind of see right here where it kept hitting that 0.008 mark, right? So that kind of range right there, we never thought it was going to go down here to where it actually is. So anybody who's getting into it today, who's following it today, I mean, this is like a prime opportunity on this coin right here. So, like I said, we still got a ways before we cross bullishly on the 200-day moving average. My original projection on Jasmy was I thought it would probably be summer before something like that happens. But who knows? Maybe we hit that a little sooner. I'm still seeing a lot of posts that are talking about, oh, it's a bull trap. It's a bull trap. But then you see kind of like just as many posts that say it's a bear trap. So I don't know. I don't play that game. You know, if you look at the more seasoned strategies, I think is just the simple DCA, dollar cost average, the daily in and out. None of this stuff really impacts you. You're looking at the long term, right? That's what you're really looking at, is what can this thing do in the long term, and that's still what I focus on a daily basis. So anyway, we'll wrap up the video now with some final thoughts, just kind of the overall market. All right, so for some quick final thoughts in today's video, I feel pretty good about this recent pump in the market overall. A lot of coins are coming alive all at once. I think that's really positive. After the whole bummer of a year that was 2022, we really need some good news, and why not have that happen in January? Now, I think for a bigger picture, kind of a more global view, a little more macro, I think it's going to take a little bit more time. I think we also need some news to drop. Hara is still pretty quiet overall across the Twitter front. Not really many updates there. I know we should have an update coming on the Happiness Project right around the corner, so that'll be out there. We also have the Hokkaido Ballpark coming around in March, so that's also on the horizon. So there's a lot going on. You know, in today's video, we talked a little bit about Intel Japan. There could be more news coming with that around the corner as well. And so overall, it's kind of a stay the course kind of video is how I would sum this one up for this week. So I think the market fundamentals are actually looking pretty good out there. So that's a really positive sign. Obviously, there's definitely some FOMO chasing going on with the various God candles that are out there with some of the other projects. So, you know, just because that hasn't happened yet in Jasmy, it doesn't mean it won't happen. That kind of a run, I think, is right around the corner for us. So we just got to keep on building, stick with it, and good things will come. So, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, definitely hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting, retweeting on a regular basis, checking out there. I've got the website, I've got a Patreon channel. You can help support us there if you want. You can also tune in for our weekly Jasmy Spaces call that I mentioned earlier, where there's always lots of good speakers, great insights, so make sure to check that out if you're on Twitter or if you're not doing anything, or you can always just listen to the recording later whenever it's convenient for you, all right? So, as always, don't forget, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always is your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.